This is Chapter 5, Section 8, Applying Special Right Triangles. Your objectives are to justify and apply properties of 45, 45, 90 triangles, and to justify and apply properties of 30, 60, 90 triangles. I need you to make sure that you use your DOK chart in your agenda to write your essential question. So the first theorem that we're talking about is the 45, 45, 90 triangle theorem. It says that if you have a 90-degree triangle, a right triangle that has two angles that are 45 degrees, then these two sides, the congruent sides are your length L, and then your hypotenuse is going to be that length times the square root of 2. And that's for any 45, 45, 90. So we're going to use that theorem to find the answer to this example. Your directions tell you to find the value of x, and then you need to give your answer in simplest radical form. The triangle sum theorem says that all of these angles need to add up to 180. Since we have 90 and 45, if we add those two and subtract from 180, that means that this is also a 45-degree angle. Now we know that this is a 45, 45, 90, so we can use the 45, 45, 90 triangle theorem. And since this is 8, I know this is also 8, but I also know that the hypotenuse is going to be 8 times the square root of 2. And so I know that x is 8 root 2. I ran out of yellow paper, so now it's in blue. The next example says find the value of x. Again, you're giving your answer in simplest radical form. Because both of these values are the same, I know that this angle is going to be congruent to this one. Because this is 90 degrees, I have 90 degrees to split between these two because they're the same. I know that these are both going to be 45. So now that I've justified my 45, 45, 90, I can go back and use the theorem that we just talked about. If I have this as my L, and this is my L, so these are my two lengths that are the same, this is going to be L root 2, but since we have x, 5 is going to equal x root 2. Since 5 equals x root 2, I'm trying to solve for x, so I need to divide both sides by root 2. This makes a 1. I have x equals 5 over root 2. I don't know if you guys remember this from last year, but you're not allowed to have a square root in the bottom, so we need to rationalize this. We're going to multiply both the numerator and the denominator by root 2. The square root of 2 times the square root of 2 is 2. 2 times root 2 times 5 is just 5 root 2. And that's your answer for x. This is the next theorem that you're learning, so it's a 30, 60, 90 triangle theorem. And again, you have to memorize these different lengths. So the side opposite the 30, or the shortest side, is going to be S. The side opposite the 90 degree, or the longest side, is going to be 2 times the shortest side. And the side opposite the 60, which is always going to be the middle length, is going to be the shortest side times the square root of 3. Again, something you just have to memorize. So we're going to use that theorem to find the answer to this question. It says find the value of x and y. Make sure you give your answer in simplest radical form. The side opposite the 30 is my shortest. The side opposite the 90 is the longest, which is going to be 2 times my shortest side. Since my shortest is x, this is going to equal 2x. This middle side, the side opposite the 60, is going to be x times the square root of 3. So y is equal to x times root 3. Now I need to set up or use these equations to find each of the values. I'm going to use this one first. So I've got 22 equals 2x. I divide both sides by 2. I get x equals 11. Now that I have the value of x, I have this answer. That one was already given to me. I can figure this one out. I have y equals x times root 3, but now I know x is 11. So y is 11 times root 3. And that gives you both of the values that you were looking for. Oops. All right, here's the next one. Same theorem is going to be applied. This is also your last example. We need to find the values of x and y, and we need to give our answer in simplest radical form again. So our shortest side is always opposite the 30. Our longest side is opposite the 90, which is going to be 2 times the shortest. So y is equal to 2x. And then the side opposite the 60 is always the shortest side times the square root of 3. So this is x times root 3. Now that we have all of our sides labeled, we can say that 15 is equal to x root 3. Same thing as the other problem, we're going to try and isolate the x, so we divide both sides by root 3. This makes a 1. I have x equals 15 over root 3. Again, we can't leave the root in the denominator, so we're going to rationalize this and multiply the numerator and the denominator by 3. Root 3 times root 3 is just 3. 15 times root 3 is 15 root 3 equals x. 15 divided by 3 gives me 5. So I have 5 root 3 equals my x. Now I need to go back and find y. So we had y is equaling to 2 times x, and we found out that x is 5 root 3. 2 times 5 root 3 is just 2 times 5, which is 10, and then the root 3. So y is 10 root 3. Alright, that's the end of this chapter. Please make sure that you write your summary in Edmodo, and then if you have any further questions, either watch the video over again, or if that doesn't help, write your questions at the bottom of your notes and we can talk about them tomorrow in class. Have a safe trick-or-treating evening and be kind to other children.